All right, so welcome. I am here on the Utopia of the Seas, Royal Caribbean. It's not every day you get to sail with a sunset just like that, huh? It's not every day you get to go on a cruise. And it's not every day you get to make videos, I'll be honest. It's not every day we get to do many things. So I haven't made videos for a couple of months because it was actually a challenging time. So my mother-in-law sadly passed away after a bout with cancer. And it just happened so fast and so rapidly. But we have to remember that life moves on. These people stay with us. And you can go back and watch some incredible videos with her that we just posted a few months ago. But we weren't gonna take the cruise, but we decided to still take the cruise. She wanted us to continue on and to keep loving life. So that's what we do. This cruise review video is not going to be kind of the normal review video, but I'm still going to give you my thoughts on how great this ship is because it is pretty fantastic. But this weekend adventure was more of kind of a spiritual, just kind of relaxing kind of cruise. So you'll get to see that kind of vibe with, of course, dairy-free food mixed in, right? But her love sprinkled everywhere for us. So let's take a look around the ship. We'll see what's going on. We will check the food, and please be on the lookout for a lot of more new and fresh content coming very soon. We're gonna be taking some more trips. I'm not gonna tell you just yet, it's gonna be a surprise. It's gonna be lots of fun. Thank you as always for watching, and let's get to it.
Had a feeling we had something. Could have seen it in your eyes.
Are you in New York City? It's definitely grass.
What a beautiful place. I love the fact that they used a lot of real plants, which you don't often find on cruise ships. The solarium actually had tons of fake plants, which is so funny because they get tons of sunlight up there. But yet down here looks to be all real plants. That little wall there, I'm doubtful about. I don't know, maybe they could water it, but
Ready for checkmate?
they do move. You could sit here and play some chess.
Oh, this is
From the fixtures to the brass, like to the tables,
Even that is
the
made
metal
out of
chairs,
copper.
the copper lights. I mean, this is probably, oh, I think I see some mist spray there for the
Oh
water,
yeah, for the water,
for the
yeah.
plants. This is probably one of the most beautiful arrangements inside a ship I've ever seen. The walkway is incredible. There's actually, like, you know, granite walls to the little umbrella stands. It's a nice fancy restaurant in here.
It's nice in there.
Now here's the funny thing about all these restaurants. You can see how there's no prices anywhere. So
by
it's very
invitation.
interesting. Some of them are by invitation. Some, I mean, you do not pay, I guess, but they do add an 18% gratuity for certain ports and itineraries. Obviously drinks you have to pay, but I mean, some of them you don't have to pay, some you do. It's actually quite confusing. I'm gonna try and see if I can get to the bottom of that, because there is a bunch of restaurants and you would think that they would just have the prices listed, but they don't.
Look for the rice bag.
Oh, this is that fun little bar down there. It comes up and down, so you could actually get out from here off the bar.
Yeah.
Ah, that makes sense.
But we check out some bedrooms. That place is a different kind of suite situation.
Oh yeah, with a
There's
view of
lot-
Central Park. And there's the balconies too.
Yeah.
So window or balcony. This would be like the old interior promenade
Yeah.
room, I think.
Look at that wall of plants. That's amazing. It's beautiful.
What do you think? Real?
Oh, it is real.
You think so?
Water, yeah. Look, there's water coming down. This one is real. It's really incredible.
I just absolutely love this. I think this is amazing.
It's a building idea.
Even the detail on
On
the
the floor.
storm drains.
Yeah. And the benches have a very high lacquer finishes.
Yeah.
And I like how they have this roof design that allows the lights to go all the way inside the promenade of the boardwalk.
Right?
It's not too dark down there. It's amazing. Look at the lines of the cloth, how they brought it down. It's the wavy pattern. That's high. See, some of these are little having a hard time in the corner here. But it's real. The one on the bottom is not. But those ones are.
I love all the snake plants. I got a bunch of those in my house. Oh yeah, I do see it planted in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm convinced.
Beautiful. See, some of them are dying off over here, see? There's not enough sunlight.
But that should look that way if it's natural.
Yeah, of course. Oh, that's some speakers, right?
Yeah, that's where the bird sounds come from.
Yeah, right there. Look, I think that green thing. See?
Ah.
Kind of like Avatar in Disney. Remember how we hear things in the... It's like a spine, fish spine, right?
So the Park Cafe has a lot of good hours. It's kind of grab and go options, and I'm pretty certain everything is included, except for I think craft cocktails and
So we have
lattes.
a washing
It's just a
station.
little hand wash station.
Umbrellas if it rains. Nice.
Are they actually able to be taken? Yeah, they are.
Yeah, it's for you to use. They're everywhere.
Well,
Let's go get some fruits. And look
let's
inside.
do it.
Alright, let's see what's in there. Some pineapple, sandwiches,
It's gluten free.
grapes today.
Some pineapple.
Some green grapes.
sun-dried tomato rock. But it has cheese. Doesn't actually say on the thing, but it does. All right, so loving all things that move. How can you not love the Utopia of the Seas? It has this truly unique boardwalk, that a boardwalk slash Central Park that is unlike anything I've ever seen on any cruise ship. It is just magnificent. From all of the real trees to all of the restaurants to the little sitting areas to just relaxing. I was just somewhere and it was windy. I'm right here now and it's like totally different climate. I don't know if there's like different climate zones in here, but right here feels nice and warm again. The sun peeked out. It's just incredible. But literally to feel all the real plants, to smell them, it smells like nature. What they've created here is just incredible. There's a nice little grab and go spot here where you can get a couple of sandwiches. Sadly, nothing dairy-free, but there is fruits. Fruits are dairy-free. And there's some coffee and juices. It's open pretty late as well, which is nice. But this is just quite an awesome spot to have. A question for you, thinking about it, would you want to stay in one of these cabins up in here rather than have an ocean view? So on Europa, when we were on that in January, we actually had one all the way at the back. We had promenade view and ocean view. But the promenade, if you want to go check out that video, I'll put it right there. It was just like an empty shell. It was nothing as magnificent as this. This would honestly make me want to stay overlooking the Central Park because it is pretty spectacular. I really enjoy it. So maybe I would look into, when I come back on here someday, if I come back on here someday, staying right here. As nice as the ocean is, I really always love my ocean balcony. It's a hard choice to make, but they make this very easy to love. Sitting on a balcony, looking at Central Park, while you're floating on the ocean. It is amazing. All the elevators going through, the use of glass, the design features, it's just truly breathtaking. I truly am inspired by this. So do we love this? We definitely love this. So I gotta say, it's amazing how less packed the elevators are, how less packed the ship is, because we're docked at Perfect Day, the island right now. And literally, I feel like probably 3/4 of the ship got off, or they're sleeping off last night in their cabin, one or the other. But it is a nice time to actually explore the ship. Go up and sit in the pools and the hot tubs. There's not that many people around. And get all the food that you want. The food is still open the whole time. Everything is still open and functional. It's just like you almost have the whole ship to yourself. There's very few people around. A lot of cleaning going on, of course, but it's amazing what a difference rather than having the 5,000 people walking around all the time. It's a nice feeling actually just to hang in the ship for a little bit. You get to explore and investigate, see things that you usually don't see without all of the crowds.
Chasing, leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go.
So I could walk around and show you hours and hours of footage, and I probably still wouldn't cover everything that the ship has to offer. And I'll be honest and say, like I said in the beginning, this cruise for me, I didn't use a lot of what the ship had. It's kind of impossible, really, when you think about it, if you're only doing a 3-day cruise, but you kind of pick and choose what you'd like to use for you, for your weekend. And for me, I was just kind of more of in relaxation mode. You saw me, I truly fell in love with the solarium, just lounging there, relaxing, looking out at the water. I spent a lot of time on my deck. So again, use as much or as little as you want, but there is a huge ship. Let's get on to report card. It's grading time. So for labels, I gotta tell you, I almost feel like doing a happy dance, right? It has been 10 years that I've been waiting for some cruise ship to come along and to give the ingredients in the food, to give some labels. Thank you so much, Royal Caribbean, for starting to do a little bit. And I say a little bit because the main dining room lists out all the ingredients as well as the major food allergens, which is phenomenal. Thank you so much for that. But we still have work to do when it comes to the buffet, the specialty restaurants, as well as room service. So all of these things still do not have labels. The staff is always quite helpful. However, when you call up for room service specifically, if you ask about allergens, it's already a long hold to get room service. I've talked about this before when I was on a prior Royal Caribbean cruise. You know, the wait time can be extensive for room service, can be about an hour. So it takes a long time for them to also pick up the phone. And then sometimes, often, the staff does not know about what is in the food. They have to put you on hold and go check. And you ask for one thing, then you have to ask for something else. It's quite a process. So I love the labels in the main dining room. I am waiting for labels everywhere. But for now, we're going to give them a 7 out of 10 because that is amazing. And thank you so much for the labels in the dining room. So when it comes to amenities, there are so many amenities on this ship. It would take me hours to try and explain all of them. So I'm going to do a 9 out of 10 for the amenities. Why not a 10 out of 10? Because a lot of the amenities, like other cruise lines, you have to pay for. So if we think about the first thing that comes to mind, getting off the ship at Coco Cay, the perfect day, everything costs money. You have to pay to ride the slide, you have to pay to rent chairs. You have to pay to kind of do anything. You can walk around. That is free. That's a free amenity, I guess, to walk around the island. But you have to pay for everything else. Other amenities that I would say that I totally fell in love with was the entertainment. On a 3-day cruise, to have entertainment that is this good is just unbelievable. I honestly probably have to say, I think I've been on 9 cruises. I had to count. 9 cruises up until this point. This is my 10th. And I would say that this is by far the best entertainment that I've seen on any ship to date. Now, granted, there are a lot of people out there who make videos and they do a lot of cruising, so they may see other things. I completely fell in love with the show All In, and I completely fell in love with Utopia. Not the U, but a Y-O-U, Utopia. It's actually the ice skating show. The performance that they have doing these shows is unbelievable. Just seriously, like I want to, I don't want to spoil it for you too much. I'll show you a couple of clips, but I mean, they are incredible. So if I had to pay to literally just see those shows, I think the cruise fare is worth it just for those shows alone. I have paid big money to see shows in other places, in Vegas and all over the world, really. Those shows alone are worth the admission for a 3-day cruise, I have to say. However, there's a big caveat to that. Depending on how many people you are cruising with, you have to make sure to pre-book your shows. Use the Royal Caribbean app to do that. I didn't know about that. I got on board and I was like, oh my goodness, I was trying to make these reservations. There were no more reservations. You can show up at a standby line and they will do their best to try and get you in. One show I was not able to get into, 2 other ones I was. So again, it's a little give and take, but if you know you're going to be sailing soon as you know it and as soon as they let you, go on and try to reserve your seats for the shows. Now, also when it comes to amenities, there is specialty dining, which I call specialty because I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but it's not in the main dining room is what I'm saying. There's probably about 15 other restaurants, maybe even more, on the ship. And I was a bit confused because it seems like some of these you have to pay, but some of them you don't. So I ended up making reservations and I tried 2 of them, which I did not have to pay for. I was pleasantly surprised. It was not the main dining room. The food was really, really incredible. Service was incredible. However, again, these are all things that are done by reservation. So me not knowing that coming on board, I guess you'd say I didn't do enough of my homework, but like I told you, I was kind of spacey the past few months when it came to, thinking about this vacation. So I didn't really plan that very well. But if you're going to be traveling with a large party, make sure that you reserve your tickets to these restaurants as soon as you can, as soon as space opens up. There is this really cool thing called the Royal Railroad, which I learned about again when I'm walking around. There was no opportunity for me to get inside because I guess people had to pre-book tickets like a year ago. And I didn't do that. I've also come to find out it's like $79 a person for the experience, but it does sound pretty cool. You go inside and you eat inside a rail car, a simulated rail car, and you get a cool menu. I guess there's all kinds of like country western acts and stuff. I found this out from some other YouTube channels, but again, I was not allowed inside because I didn't have reservations. So that is something that you need to think about. So there is a lot of amenities that are offered. However, if you don't plan well, you will not be able to experience these amenities. When it came to pools, other things, there was no room at the spa for the whole weekend. The spa was completely booked up. So again, that's also an amenity that if you're willing to use and you want to pay to use, make sure you plan that ahead of time. But in terms of like pools, outside hot tubs, the solarium, which was a really probably my favorite part of the ship, outside of the food, right? The solarium was great. I don't feel like any amenity was kind of overrun, depending on what time you would go to use it. I think the best day, like I said already earlier, was when people got off the ship at Coco Cay. You would be able to use any amenity you wanted to. So depending on who you're traveling with, whether it's kids, whether it's whoever it is, just look into what you need to do to use these amenities, if you need to reserve them, and if you can, try to book them way in advance. So for amenities, because there are just so many of them, and the ship was so incredible, but also because you can't use them all because you don't have reservations, we're going to do a 9 out of 10 for amenities. So as I've already mentioned, I think just literally buying tickets to see 2 shows on this ship is worth the cost. Is the cost a good value? You better believe it is. So if you go online right now, I think you can find a Utopia 3-night cruise for as low as about $550. And that's for interior rooms. And of course, it's all dependent on the dates that you travel, but it goes all the way up to probably 5, 6, 7,000 per person for a suite or something for 3 nights. So would I pay that much? No. Did I pay that much? No. I had a regular room and I absolutely loved it. My cost here, my value for what I paid was incredible. The food was incredible. I love that I could do specialty dining without having to pay extra. I just thought it was absolutely great. Something else to think about when it comes to cost, we always remember, drinks and internet, right? A lot of people like to have internet plans when they go on a cruise. I have to say that another first for me this time, I don't know if it's just a new ship or new technology, but the internet was incredibly fast. The fastest I'd seen on any ship so far. So for about $23 a day for one device, you can buy it. And again, I don't like having to pay that. I know some other cruise lines offer it for free, but people say it's not that fast. The value for what you paid for was incredible here. I've been on some other ships before where I bought it and I had to actually get a refund because it didn't work very well. So the internet was amazing here. Great value for your money. We're going to do a 9 out of 10. Why a 9 out of 10? Because they still tried to charge you for a lot of things that I don't think you should have to pay for. Like to ride the slides. When you go on Coco Cay, you have to pay for everything around the island. I think that should all be included, but that's just me. So 9 out of 10 when it comes to cost. Okay, flavors. They were incredible. Everything that I tried, I honestly find it hard to find fault with a lot of things. I, of course, wish I could have everything, but I couldn't. We'll get to that in a second. But everything that I did have, I have no complaints. The food on this ship was probably the best food I've had on any cruise ship. So another first here, another checkbox, 10 out of 10. All right, so when it comes to attitudes, I feel like everybody on the ship was very nice. Were they over the top, incredibly passionate about what was going on, about you being there? I have to say, sadly, no. I did not get that vibe. Nobody was angry. There was no problems. I didn't see anything that went wrong. Like I said, Sharon, my room attendant, was unbelievably helpful. Her positive attitude was incredible every time she saw us. There was a lot of security officers, by the way, on this cruise. I don't know why that was unique to me, but it stood out because I usually don't see that on cruises. Like I said, this was my 10th cruise now. So on all my other cruises, I never really saw security like hanging around everywhere. And I saw them everywhere here. That was just a big thing. Why am I talking about that when it comes to attitude? I don't know. But I guess maybe that's why there was a more serious vibe. But again, nothing was bad. It's not bad here, but it also wasn't like the incredible, warm, lovable attitude that you would love to have. So we're going to do a 7 out of 10 for attitude. When it comes to cleaning, I mean, yes, it's a new ship. However, just because something is new doesn't mean it's maintained well. However, the Utopia of the Seas is maintained well. I couldn't find a piece of dust anywhere, I'll be honest with you. And I tried really hard. I guess if I could say anything, maybe some specks on the windows. That's about all I got here. This ship was taken care of incredibly well. Shout out to my cabin attendant, Sharon. She did an incredible job taking care of the stateroom. So clean, so nice. This is a 10 out of 10 for this. So when it comes to timeliness, the biggest thing I can talk about is obviously getting on the ship, getting off the ship, being able to utilize everything. When it comes to food, everything you do, are you waiting a lot, or is that taking away time from your vacation? And I would say here that everything, for the amount of people that are on board, like almost 6,000 passengers, everything went seamless. It was incredible. It was a very easy embarkation, very easy getting off the ship. The only thing I would have to fault would be the time for room service. And I know these people do an incredible job, but I think it's just tough because, especially for us, dairy allergy people, when everything shuts down at 10 o'clock and the only food that you can possibly get that's dairy free is through room service, it's sad that it takes room service well over an hour to get to you. So I wish that there would be some more food options still open for people with food allergens until at least 11 p.m. Possibly midnight would be even great. So that you don't have to wait for the room service. But room service needs to get a little bit faster. But I also understand it's probably inundated because everything closes down and people are hungry. So for timeliness, we're going to do a 9 out of 10. There's a lot of options for food, let me tell you. So not only is there the buffet, we have the sit-down restaurant, main dining we call it, and then we have all these other specialty restaurants. So there is tons and tons of options. Literally, can any of these places help us out and make things dairy-free? It would seem as though that would be true. I didn't get to try every single restaurant, so I can't say that every restaurant that's the case. But where I did eat, it was amazing. Were there options at the buffet? Yes, there was. Was there options in the main dining room? Yes, there was. Is there even newer options than when I last cruised, like more vegan desserts? Yes, there was. Did I go hungry for not being able to find dairy-free food? The answer is no, I didn't. So I am very, very pleased with the options. Do I wish that there were more options? Always I do. However, this is getting incredibly better from when I last cruised on Royal Caribbean a year ago, that I am happy to say options when it comes to food is a 10 out of 10, without a doubt. Also, if we're talking about other options, amenities, things to do, remember there is so much stuff on the ship. I feel like I'm running a commercial, but I'm not. I'm just very pleased with the amount of options that they did have for dairy-free food. All right, my last piece, reception. So reception, people being lovable, people being happy, kind of goes into account with the attitude piece. When I came on board, was there a gigantic welcome, nice big smiles to welcome me on board? There was not. There was a few people waiting by the carpet, but they didn't even say hello. They just kind of looked as though they painfully had to be standing there because that's what they had to be doing. Now, granted, this may have something to do with the fact that I got on board about 1:30. People who got on board at 9 a.m. or, how soon they can charge in. I just don't like showing up too early because I don't like waiting in those lines. So that's why I told you I got on so fast, because I come a little bit later. And my plane was that way too, so it all worked out fine for me. But when I walked on, I guess there was no more steam left to say hello. When I entered into, dining rooms, restaurants, how was the reception? Was it nice? The first night I went into the main dining room, people were happy. There was some confusion around the time I was supposed to show up. So remember, my time dining, you still, even though you have my time dining and, you can show up anytime you want to eat, not technically, you still have to make a reservation. So make sure to remember that. Make a reservation. If you take away anything out of my video, make a reservation. Make a reservation for shows. Make a reservation for specialty restaurants. Make a reservation for Coco K. Make a reservation for the main dining room. Literally, I would probably even make a reservation for room service on Saturday night if I could, if it would speed up the process of the room service getting to me. But on the second, I don't think you can do that. I'm joking. On the second night, when I came to the main dining room, sadly, they were not able to seat me at the table that I'd already sat at. And I had pre-ordered my meal with the head waiter because that really speeds things up, which is really nice. So I had to wait probably a good half hour, 20 minutes to a half hour for them to figure out what was going on. Someone else had already taken over my table, but they got me close enough so that I was within the head waiter's section to the table I was sitting at the night before, so that they were still able to access the food that I pre-ordered, which, by the way, when it got to me, it was cold. So, I mean, kind of sad about that. But so when it comes to the overall reception, the warmth and love that you wish that they would have for you for being on board, this is an area of improvement. So I know I've been going on and on about how everything is so incredible, and it really is incredible. The ship, the Central Park, the food, this is by far one of the most incredible cruises I've been on in a long time. But if we're looking for areas of opportunity, this is where you'd find it. So it goes hand in hand with the attitude, and so reception, we're going to do a 5 out of 10. So what are some of my closing thoughts on sailing on Utopia of the Seas? Do I recommend that you should go and take this cruise? 100% I do. I think I'd recommend that you take it for 7 days or a month if they offered it, but I believe they're not right now. They're only doing 3 days and 4-day cruises. Now, if I could, again, just sum it up why I loved it, it was, for me, all of the options of incredible food, especially for someone that suffers with dairy-free. So remember, lovers of all things that move, just not things that moo, right? Yeah, because for some reason, stuff that moves just doesn't get along with my system. So that's why I have to go through and check these things out and make these videos. So that's why I would love to take this cruise. The food is incredible. The people were really nice. Like I told you, we need to work on that just a little bit. But I would totally recommend this cruise. It's a great value for the money. It is a beautiful, gigantic, incredibly nice, beautiful, everything new ship that I just totally recommend. You will love the Central Park. You will love all of the amenities, everything that they have to offer. Now, if I could, in my closing thoughts, say that I was able to see the Utopia ice show for a second night, because like I was telling you about the tickets, I was trying to get into another show and I couldn't because I didn't make reservations. So I went to the standby line for the ice show and I was able to get into that. For anyone out there who's ever done live performances, thank you so much for all of the hard work that you do to make people like me who love to watch it truly get an amazing experience. I love live concerts, live shows, live theater. If you've never been on my website, Lac Factor, LACFACTOR.com, lacfactor.com, I list on there actually all the live things that I've ever done. And I have a good list. I'm I think over 130 things right now. I just love live shows. And so for me, already thinking about how hard it is to ice skate on land, I can't even imagine somebody wanting to ice skate on a moving ship that's doing this and, can move around and stuff like that. And so the second night that I was able to see the Utopia show again, sadly, one of the performers had an accident and she came out. And let me back up 1 second before I say that and say that when I saw the other shows on board, And I was just so excited and so moved. I felt like getting up out of my chair and like dancing and screaming, and because I was just so excited with the great work that they were doing. And sadly, the crowd was just kind of blah. I mean, I don't know. Someone told me once, there's a great quote, if you're having a good time, tell your face, right? Tell your face. And a lot of the people just, they're sitting there like they weren't sleeping, but like they weren't moving. They didn't look excited. They didn't look happy. They just, it made me feel sad, but I couldn't get attached to that. I was still so excited with the show. So it makes me sad that people don't, get into it enough and love it enough and appreciate it enough. I understand that maybe they appreciate it in different ways, but it's just, it's hard to see that. And so if I was on a stage and I was performing and I could see and feel that energy coming from the crowd, that must be very difficult to handle. So getting back to the second night now, the performer falls on the ground and literally everybody like gasped. We all, and it was like real quiet and you could hear a pin drop. And, you could actually hear her crying. And it was, obviously everybody came out. Bunch of people ran out, the studio people. They wanted to make sure that she was okay. She laid there and it was a tense few minutes. And then luckily, gladly, and thankfully, she was able to get up and walk off the ice, and everybody clapped. And then the cruise director came out and explained that, that they did have an accident that wasn't part of the script, and that they needed a little break for the cast to kind of just, catch themselves up, and they were going to try and put the show back on. Because for anyone who does live shows, theater, performing, they have this saying that the show must go on, that the show always must go on. So they came back out, and to say that they rocked it would be an understatement of great proportions. But what I truly appreciated, as much as I loved all the people coming back out, but I also appreciated the crowd actually getting into it. And you could feel the energy from the arena, like pumping up the actors, and the performers, I should say. They're not actors, they're performers. And it just felt so great. And what a contrast from those other two nights. But again, my heart goes out to that performer for best wishes for a safe recovery. And to all the people who put that show on and do that hard work, that is just unbelievably difficult. I can't imagine trying to skate on ice on a ship that's moving and trying to balance itself. So, and then the guy that stands on top of like 17 chairs and balances himself on a rocking cruise ship. I mean, these people deserve an award for this, and it was amazing. And I truly, truly loved those shows. So that taking into consideration, while I was also having my weekend, I sat there and I kind of just, I just was again thinking of my mother-in-law. And the last time that I was with her was on a cruise in Europe. And, it's obviously very tough to process such a loss. She'd been in my life for 20 years. And we've done so many things together, made so many memories. And so as I was sitting there, I was thinking about what is the meaning of Utopia, because this is the Utopia of the seas. I didn't think of this before I got on the ship, and I had bought my tickets to get on the ship well before she was diagnosed with cancer. And after we lost her, we didn't know if we were going to go on the vacation, like I said in the beginning, but we did. And so when you look up this word Utopia, it's kind of loosely translated into a fictional and imaginary place where everything is perfect and it's absolute bliss. The person who actually thought up this word believed that utopia is actually not possible, that people don't find that. Royal Caribbean is trying to create that, and it's very hard to create utopia. But I do believe that my mother-in-law has found utopia. I like to call it heaven. Heaven is utopia. So it is the perfect place that our Lord Jesus promises us one day we will all get to experience. So this utopia is not for me yet. But you know, life is still full of a lot of great adventures that should make you happy and that should bring you great joy. But complete bliss and complete utopia, I think that's maybe only a gift that God can give. And I'm sure she's received it. So I love you so much. Thank you for everything that you meant to me and to so many others. And I'm going to end my video here before I get too emotional. I appreciate you all watching. I will see you in the next video. Take care and God bless.
When I look out the window, I only see my reflection. No memory crescendo, no past year possession. Where did all of our time go? Like a ladder with no bottom, and each rung passing below. I've already forgot them. How did I love you the first time that we realized that we both did? And all of the canyons in my mind were suddenly crossed upon your bridges. How did I used to hold you before you knew that you needed it? If everything always feels new, then what if nothing is? I'm trying to find my way back to where we started. My tired mind holds no maps of the past. If you are the wine, then I'm the headache you part with, leaving us blind while we ever poured the glass. When the rain comes tomorrow and the sun peeks through small cracks, and I'll see you're an echo of a sound I can't get back. Where did all of our time go? What is it that we don't know we're missing? There is no hope and forward.